We're doing it again, people. We're doing it again. Okay, so I just wanted to say hi, check in with everyone, let you know I'm here. Hi, Steve. Greetings, Steve. Hello, Valvona B. Greetings. I know. There's only a few of us here. It's a completely random new way that Tarot Lumination is doing these reports because, frankly, I get really miserable and lonely when I'm doing the recordings and then I upload them. And some of the members suggested, why don't you just do it live, you know? Anyway, you know, it's a community after all. Yeah, so we've already done the reports, okay? In case you're not aware, we have already got the report for Virgo. We've done Aries. We've already done Pisces. And we've already done Cancer, okay? And we did it all through a lucky draw. And so today we're going to do another lucky draw just to see who gets the report read. So there's I've done all the preparation work with the astro doodles, but it makes the readings very fresh and very, very raw when we do it this way, okay? And it's like there's nowhere to hide, you know? I can't prep it up and then edit and fix it and then load it. We're doing it live. So it's just more fun. So this is it. So everyone in here, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more readings that we have to do. So it's going to take me the rest of the week, okay? I can probably only handle about 3 per day. So I'm going to shake it up, and inside here is a magic post-it note for each one of these, okay? Get it? And this is what we did for the last 4 readings. Okay. The Maytag repairman. Hey, so Steve, right now my bicycle needs a lot of maintenance. It's very old. It's a really sweet ride. It looks like a piece of, you know, junk, but it's a really nice ride. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to do it. There's only a few of us here, but it's okay. The whole idea is that we're just going to do this thing, all right? So that you guys are a witness. No strings, okay? Nothing like that. No magnets. There's nothing in here. My hands are clean and clear. I always make sure my hands are clean and clear, and I'm just going to do it. Shake it up, and then we're going to pull, and whoever gets pulled gets the reading. It may not be any of you guys, okay? Depending on your sun, moon, rising. Here it is. So this is it. It's going to be, as you are witnessing, the fresh pull. It's going to be, here it is, I got one. Okay, I've got one. Let's see who it is. Let's have a look. So I'm figuring this out just like you guys. I'm living in the moment just like all of you. This is really scrunched up. Okay, so we're going to do an October report for the Scorpios out there. Typically the sun, moon, and rising, because those are the dominant energies. Whether you're a Scorpio or not, if you're not a Scorpio and you just want to hang out for fun, that's fine too. Sun, moon, and rising, just hang out. Otherwise, we'll get to you later on, okay? Or if we haven't done you yet, there's already the other 4 that we posted on the channel. They're still there. Okay, so here we go. This is for Scorpio, so brace yourselves, all Scorpios, if you're watching or not. So this is going to go away till the next show, okay? And this note is going away because it has lived its life, okay? Yes, Steve, the healing power of now. I'm sorry, Olson, it did not come up as an Aquarius, but it's okay. Today, right now on this show, we're going to do the report for Scorpios, okay? So I'm going to tuck everyone away until the next show. Just like this, okay? Going into safekeeping over here. And now, Scorpios, you are up. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. First of all, I just want to say hello, 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 over here. Greetings, everyone. Hello, Steve. Hello, Joe. Hello, Alson. Hello, Valvona. And whoever else is out there not typing in, not checking. It's okay. I'm just doing these monthly reports now live because it's much more healthy for me personally. It's more satisfying. It's more fun. And it makes it more intimate and more personal. And I'm not so lonely. I never realized it until a few of you guys suggested, like, why don't you just do them live? And so I thought about it, and I thought, you know what? Let's give it a shot. Why not? What have I got to lose? And so here we are. All right, let's get back to work, people. Thanks. Hang in, okay? Just treat it as a piece of, like, random entertainment if you want. If you just want to sit back and, you know, pick your nose and eat some popcorn, that's fine. We're still going to do the show anyway. Here we go. So first off, before we do anything else, I want to check in with you guys on the Lumination Astro Doodles. Here we are. So all the reports for this month are going to have the same basic information, but we tweak it to suit each sign. All this stuff is the material that I use for personal readings, you know, the private ones, but for now, just for this show, I'm going to focus on the big yellow blobs, which are the main highlights, okay? So right at the very tippy beginning of the month, actually technically the end of September, we have the new moon in Libra. Libra is considered like the October season. You know, it's actually kind of out of alignment. But anyway, hi Fritali. So we got a real whiz-bang start to the month for everybody. In Scorpios, that would be your 12th house, okay? So it might be a little bit of a very sensitive month for you, all Scorpios, okay? And then coming up towards the middle of the month, we're going to have the full moon in Aries. Okay, so that was going to potentially translate into more sensitivity, again, regarding the health axis, okay? Because for the Scorpios, the Libra-Aries axis goes along the 6th and 12th house, okay? Which, to my view, is very much aligned with health and health practices and everything and anything that's not working and anything and everything that does work. So, this is potentially very uncomfortable for Scorpios, but we can take advantage of it because it's the build-up. Typically, every sign, when it goes through its yearly cycle, I'll show you in a minute on the astro doodle. Hold on. So towards the end of the month, this is where it gets interesting because the sun enters Scorpio on the 24th, dear Scorpios. Okay, so be prepared. And I give it a full green light. But a little bit later, we actually get to the Scorpio new moon, which has a few challenges, okay? So I just want to point that out. And that's around the 28th and the 29th, okay? I'm going to show you. It's a huge Scorpio stellium, okay? A lot of power and energy for Scorpios. So let me just show you on your own personal astrodoodle. Yeah. Okay. Let's dig it out. Scorpio is going to be somewhere over here. There it is. Okay, here's the Scorpio astrodoodle. It's not a real chart, okay? It is a tarot Lumination astrodoodle. It's like a I don't know, it's like a little smorgasbord. I just pull out the highlights, okay, and I make my own accent pieces. You know, it's for personal reference because I take all this stuff very personally. And I do it in a very personal, subjective kind of way. Even though a lot of the things to do with astrology are very objective and it's just raw data, you have to put the human element in there. Okay, so dear Scorpios, okay? Don't look at this just part yet, because this is all super, super wonderful. Let's deal with the tricky parts first, okay? Now, just remember, Scorpios, you've just lived through a whole yearly cycle for your sun sign cycle, okay? It goes all the way around here. You've just lived through a whole 11 months, and you're coming into the very last few weeks of a whole solar cycle, okay? And for every sign, when it comes to this point in their life cycle, it can be really uncomfortable because you get to the point where there is no, this is all the stuff that gets revealed to you for the healing. A lot of the things that you couldn't cope with over the last year get stuffed into the kitchen drawer, into the basement, into the attic of your spiritual self, where it festers and rots and can come really to the surface and wants healing. Some of it can't be healed, okay? Some of it can be healed. You're going to discover what that is. Some of this could be very sweet. You know, the 12th house is sometimes a very difficult energy to handle for anybody. So you're going to get the new starts and new beginnings there for Libra. To me, it's like a new wake-up call to realize everything that's amazing that happened to you over the last year and really be grateful in the attitude of deep, deep reverence, deep love towards the divine nature of life, and then get back down to earth and take a reality check about what's not working, how you are the centerpiece of your whole life, and anything and everything that goes wrong is your personal experience, and then how do you deal with that? Whether you were abused, or whether you are being abused, or frustrated, or rejected, or misunderstood, or just generally feeling sad and like a non-participant in life, like as though I need a holiday really, really badly, but there's no chance for it. So you feel all that frustration. You would be aware of that too. You need to know this. You've got to reveal it to heal it. So this, please accept this as, even though it might be sad and uncomfortable, it's a really good way to just finish off the year and get yourself prepped and cleaned up and ready, like basically resigning to the fact that you've just lived a whole year and it's gone. Whatever happened is what happened. So now it's going to be time to focus on the new good stuff, okay, by the end of the month. But we have to get through the month first, okay? So in the middle of the month, over here, around the 13th, 14th or so, we've got the full moon in Aries. So I think that's when it's going to become really evident to you, dear Scorpios, about what are we going to do about it? You know, this is very much an active energy over here, Aries in the 6th house. It's about what are you going to do now, dear Scorpio? Facts, very simple, down-to-earth facts. How do we cleanse, refine, purify, clarify our daily lives, our daily habits, our daily practices, so that you can maintain yourself better and have a better life, okay, for the next year to come? Basically, it's all about improving your health, your habits, your daily practices, refining and cleansing, purifying. Basically, delete anything and everything that does not work, that's not healthy for you, and whatever's left is the good stuff, okay? So we're talking about filtration here. Deep filtration, discrimination, being very, very discriminating. Virgo energy can be very discriminating. That's the 6th house energy here. The Pisces energy can be very undiscriminating. So it's like you could be like a lint filter in a car or an air conditioning system, and you're just covered in all the goop of life. But now we have to clear the air filters, okay? Clean up the filters of your life so that you can have a really good chance for a new year ahead. So come to the realization over the next few weeks about what needs cleaning up. How are you going to clean your filters? And then implement all that over the next 2 weeks. Start the cleanup campaign so that when you do finally come to the big moment over here, sorry, the microphone's blowing up. Scorpio new moon, okay? Scorpio's already here on the 24th of October, but this is like your big annual birthday energy. It might be a little overwhelming because there's a big stellium over here. Sun enters Scorpio on the 24th, but it piles up with more planets around the 28th. So this is fresh starts, fresh beginnings for all the Scorpios for the next year. This is a really, really big, important report for you guys, okay, just Scorpios, and it'll have more impact when we go into the November report, okay? So I'm going to leave it at this for now. Let's get to your reading. Okay. So what I'm going to do, okay, hold on. Thank you all for indulging Tarot Illumination to get the astro doodles out there. These are like multi-layered reports now. I like to give like a really full broad spectrum report. And so we're using a different system this time. I'm going to do a miniature crucible spread for relationship issues. I'm going to do a situational spread for a broad view, but it's coming in like a sniper bullet. What are the key issues and situations that Scorpios are going to have to deal with? And then I'm going to try and round it all off with an oracle. And you'll see it all as we go through, okay? So bear with me. Here we go. All right. First of all, we're going to do this crucible spread. Hopefully you've seen the channel before and these reports before. This is a miniature crucible spread. It's on the Understanding. Hi, Marilyn. Well, if you're a Scorp, brace yourself. Strap yourself in. You know what to do. So this is going to be a miniature crucible spread. A crucible, as you know, is a structure that is designed to withstand the intense alchemical reactions in a laboratory, which is the same thing that happens in human relationships. So I'm exploiting that fact in this spread. Relationships are such an important part of life because that is where we do so much of our learning and healing and growing. Okay? All right. All right, here we go. So remember, with Tarot Illumination Crucible Spread, it's done on the understanding that there is you, dear Scorpio. There is a significant other, whoever this might be, a spouse, a mate, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a marriage partner for a long time or just recently, or someone you just dumped or someone who just dumped you, whatever it is, somebody very, very significant in your life, typically a chosen relationship. This can apply to any significant you will resonate, whichever it is, Scorpio, but there is the third entity itself, which is the relationship, okay? You'll see how it unfolds in a minute. I'm just going to show you. So, first of all, remember, this is not a couples reading, Scorpio. It's all about you, Let's bless the deck, bless every single card on the deck, bless the whole channel and the electricity and the cameras and all of it that makes this happen. So you'll see as this unfolds. Imagine this is your energy, Scorpio, like you're a smartphone in voice mode and you're constantly transmitting and receiving energy. What is the nature of that energy? You need to be aware of this, okay? Over here, there's a significant other. Same thing. Now remember, again, it's not a couple. This whole thing is about Scorpio, but we're allowing for the significant others, okay? So the same thing. What is the energy that they could be radiating over here? Same thing. Receiving and transmitting. Receiving and transmitting. Even in the energies of love, romance, business, one-to-one contracts, that kind of thing. And over here, at the base, the core, the relationship itself. So can you see, hopefully this is a miniature crucible. Think of it as a potted plant. And this is the potted plant in which the whole relationship is conducted as you intimate and separate on a daily basis. Okay, 24/7. And so it's a living thing. You guys own this like a business, whether you like it or know it or not. So what is growing here? Okay, let's have a look at that. And just like a potted plant or in a laboratory with a crucible, you're surrounded by energy. Of course, as you know, I love to blame it all on the planets, but there's so many other ways to look at energy. I'm going to go broad. I'm going to think of the planets particularly, but I'm going to go broad about it. So we're going to start, okay, with the Seven of Pentacles here. So this feels very appropriate for me. With the Seven of Pentacles here, I feel there's a lot of contemplation going on. Again, this is very much related to the 12th house, okay? The Seven of Pentacles here. Let me just pull this up for you. My feeling is that the Seven of Pentacles here is resonating very powerfully with the Libra new moon in your 12th house. So you're getting this perhaps unwelcome realization about all the wealth and abundance and talents and gifts that you have in the garden of your life. The garden of your life that you have grown and nurtured for the last year. And then at the same time, of course, the garden of your life that could be overgrown or with weeds or infected or untended, or that needs maintenance for all of these pentacles to glow and grow even more than ever before, to become 8, 9, and 10, okay? So this requires a lot of work, a lot of contemplation. Most of this feels like an assessment and evaluation of, well, what am I going to do for the whole of the next year? I think a lot of elements are going to be exposed. It could be the tiniest little thing, like, you know, in relationship dynamics, perhaps mending fences or building fences, or establishing better, healthier protocols, or cleaning up residual misunderstandings, whatever that might be. This energy is here to support you in the cleanup campaign. Very much, this will make a lot more sense once you get to the full moon. You'll understand all the impediments into your life here, everything that you could say, like, oh, I need to clean this up, I need to pull the weeds over here, pull the weeds over there, pull the weeds over here, fertilize there, till there, okay? So it's very natural, it's very earthy, so I'm really happy to see this for you. Yes, it does imply maybe a little bit of depression or work that you'd rather not do because it's so much fun to do other things in life, but if you don't take care of this, dear Scorpio, you end up next year with even more weeds. So please treat this as a blessing. This is a great opportunity. The planets are very, very supportive of you, Scorpio, for getting your act together, doing the final cleanup campaign for the last year's journey so that you can start your new year with a new campaign. All right, so let's have a look. What are you radiating? Six of Wands. Excellent. So I'm really happy to see this for you, Scorpio. To me, it feels that deep down, you're fully aware of this. You know exactly what's happening here. You're taking full account, full responsibility for everything that's working, all the wonders and values that you have, the beautiful things that you own in your life, whatever that might be, a gift, a talent, a resources, a thing, a place, a person, a relationship, something. All the things that are of great value to you, and you are perfectly aware of the impediments, and you know that it takes constant, continuous, like weeding, constant maintenance to get the value out of it. So I think you've done a lot of that already in the last year, and you're dealing with like the residual, the remnants that still need tidying up. So you can take this understanding through the next year, and you get it. You fully understand that. It's like you are a winner. You are perceived as a winner. You perceive yourself as a winner. And this is something that needs to be acknowledged. Remember, this is fleeting energy. Okay, this energy will shift and change next month. But for the time being, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Oops. So for the time being, my feeling is that you have every right to congratulate yourself for having survived the last year so well, given all the stresses that have come upon you in the whole of a year. Okay, so I'm really happy to see this. I'd like to say congratulations, Scorpio. Congratulations, well done. Okay, now let's look at some of the co-stars in your life. Okay, some of the main characters, whoever they might be. Prince of Swords. Okay, so to me, with the Prince of Swords energy, it's very much like the Knight of Swords in the Rider-Waite deck. I think what's happening, Scorpio, here is that you are effectively being an inspiration to others, especially certain specific individuals, significant others, who are like coming more and more and more to your side, to your team, to your understanding in such a way that this is very mutually beneficial. These are very different energies, but to me it feels like a recognition of each other, where your strength, your fortitude, your ability to survive whatever challenges you had to survive is very noble and very evident, and they are very aware of that. And I feel as though that they feel that you are an inspiration to them, and that they are learning and growing and advancing so much because of their relationship with you, that they feel inspired to live their own life more and more authentically in truth, just like the way that you have had to do for the last year just to survive. Okay, so it's like almost like the hero's journey thing, where like you guys feed off each other. It's like a mutual support type of energy. You're living your life, they're living their life, two completely different people, but you have a divine connection in some way, shape, or form, where it's like it's all behind the veil. I think a lot of it is happening in the spirit realm, in the world of, let's say, like I'm not talking about this in such a three-dimensional aspect, but it's about the spirit of you, Scorpio, connecting very deeply with the spirit of a significant other in very high frequency loving energies. So what I'm sensing here, this is not a cup card, this is not a cup card, this is not a cup card, but what I'm sensing here is a very like a noble kind of majestic type of love energy that is becoming recognized in yourself, and by others, and this is appreciated and understood by certain significant others very well, almost like two people who have very high loving respect for each other, literally like almost like an award ceremony. Like you're the star, they're the co-star, and sometimes it flips around, they're the star and you're the co-star. But imagine you're like at an award ceremony, okay, Scorpio, for having lived through a whole year, and you are being called onto the red carpet to come and take a bow and live in the limelight for a few moments. And then the announcers say, well, let's welcome the co-star, and then they come up as well, and they say, well, you take the podium, okay, and they take all the light and some glory for the moment, and then they say, well, this couldn't have happened without my Scorpio. And then the Scorpio comes back and says, by the way, I want to remind you that this couldn't have happened without you. And so both people acknowledge and bow and respect to each other, just like two heroes in your movie. It's your movie, but I'm talking about the heroic nature of the characters involved here. It doesn't mean this was easy It doesn't mean necessarily that it was all lovey-dovey and romantic, but I'm sensing it in terms of the energy and the power, okay? Let's have a look over here at the core. So with the Four of Swords, to me this is like an acknowledgement. This is very much about healing, okay? The Four of Swords, very much to do with healing. So I feel that it's really important. Let's go back to the award ceremony. Just imagine that you, Scorpio, have just finished the initial acknowledgement. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much, everybody. And the announcer says, well, dear Scorpio, do you have a few words for us, Scorpio, about the last year in your journey? And could you tell us something, okay? And then the Scorpio says, I see what you're talking about. Thank you, I understand. Well, I'd like to tell you that my journey over the last year has been a very powerful healing experience for me and a certain loved one, partner, associate, to the point where we could say that this is a very mutually healing dynamic that we share. And then the audience goes, oh, wow, like you're healing them? And then the Scorpio says, like, and they're healing me. So the relationship itself, let me tell you, the relationship itself is indicating that the relationship is a crucible in which healing has occurred. And healing will continue to occur, and it is a fundamental element of the relationship. The healing aspect of love, okay? So it's almost like the Scorpio is saying, like, you know how some of the big superstars do that? They take advantage of their fame and their glory to like promote a cause. Well, the cause here is the healing power of love, okay? It's literally like an acknowledgement. Pretend the whole story for the movie was all about the healing power of love. And now both heroes in the movie, the lead roles, do this. They do this acknowledgement. Like, this is a big deal, people. I'm going to see if I can do this more authentically. This is what I'm trying to indicate here. Okay? It's like, okay, let me do it like this. This is what I'm trying to illustrate here. Like the healing power of love. And both of you look at each other and go, yep, exactly what that's the whole point of the movie of my life. I'm a Scorpio and this was the movie of my life, okay? Okay, yep. Well, you don't have to kiss on stage, but you could do a bow. Okay? You can both do a bow to each other, yeah. So that's what I'm sensing here. So this is kind of a beautiful thing, but it's very public, it's very open, because this relationship is having a healing power of love impact on other people. It's not just you, it's just not them. The relationship itself, I believe here, it's like this is a glowing thing. If you could put this whole reading into one thing, which is this heart crucible shaped thing, this energy starts to radiate an aura above and beyond it, outside you and your co-star and the relationship itself. So this is like a living example of the healing power of love in action. Okay? And other people get off on this. Okay, let's have a look. And it looks like it's creating a foundation for a future. For you, for the other one, and for others as well. A good solid foundation for the future. I see the Four of Pentacles here as a very powerful card of like a branding. This is almost like a branding energy where the evidence is now there between you, Scorpio, and certain significant others. It is now proven, and now the next stage, what's happening? Let's say this relates more towards the Scorpio new moon energy. Okay, right at the end of the month. You can start to see like the groundwork and the foundations for a new life, for a new year coming up ahead for you. Not a lot of detail here. I'm just talking about taking all the raw ingredients over here that you've nurtured and pruned and clarified and reconstituting them, having gone through a healing journey, about restructuring, recreating a new foundation in life. Really like the four pillars. Like the four pillars of a skyscraper, okay? If you can imagine that. The four pillar stones of a skyscraper. That's what this is all about here. And it's like very strong roots, very strong stems, very nutritious ground, very supportive of environment for you, Scorpio, to go to the next level here. Thank you very much. I'm going to leave it at that, okay? Okay? Good thing. So I'm going to tuck this over to the side. because we're going to move on, people. Okay? Now, you guys, I know a lot of you are really avid readers already, so if you have your own personal interpretations of this, you can do so. But I've given you the storyline. I see it very cinematically, and so I wanted to share it in that way with you. Okay? All I'm doing here is narrating like a little movie. Okay? Thank you very much. So let's move on here. What I'm going to do now is the situational spread, okay? Just let's divide the stage up over here. You'll see in a moment. Give me a second here. Cheers. Well done, Scorpio. I'm happy for you. It's thirsty work. Congratulations for getting through a whole year's cycle. Well, let's get into the situation here. This is just like we do on Sunday Night Live, okay? Hello, everybody. I see you. Hey, Joe. Hey, Fritoli, I don't think I said hi. Hey, Jackie. Thanks for hanging in, people. It really makes doing these reports so much more fun knowing that you guys are out there. I'm not really interacting much, frankly, but sometimes I get so lonely and miserable doing these things. It's a very solitary process. It's a very intense process, and it's a very demanding process, and it brings so much relief to share, like to dissipate some of the energy, so I don't have to carry it all through my physical body. It's like indirectly, it's like you guys are helping me to carry the load. It's really amazing, the difference. Okay. So this is kind of like a broad spectrum. I'm using this kind of like as a diagnostic tool. I am trusting that it's acting like sort of like a sniper bullet. We're going to go to a really fundamental core issue that we need to focus on. You know, Steve would understand this, because Steve, I believe, is deep into the world of technology and auto tech and stuff like that, and they have these powerful diagnostic machines that focus on like, what is the problem? How are we going to fix this? And what I'm going to do here is just try to focus on the main issue. Okay? There's always a lot of issues to solve. But that's next month in another reading, okay? Hi, Frickley, thank you. Okay, so the cards were already pre-shuffled, but I have to go through the ritual of getting them pristine up to the very last second. I hope you don't mind. And this little deck here, it's still in really good shape. It's done thousands of readings, and it's still going. It's amazing. So bless this deck too, every single deck. Please, everybody, invite your invisible friends, all the Scorpios. Take advantage of this moment in time, even if you only do it for these few minutes for the whole year. Invite your invisible friends to join with you so that they all have a chance to witness the situational spread for you. Here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges, and here's how we're going to handle it. And I'm going to look at the weather again. Whatever that might be, circumstantial energy, environmental influences. I like to think of it as the planets, okay? Because they're just like what you would see on the weather reports, for hurricanes and tornadoes. It's great to have good weather. That's fine. Everybody takes advantage of that. But what I like to do is make everybody aware of the things that are potentially disruptive, okay? Here we go. So, with the Three of Swords here, my feeling is, dear Scorpio, despite the, I would say, a little bit like a heroic energy of this relationship dynamic over here, to me this is an indication that you have to be very careful, okay, over the next year. Okay, think of this as a very gentle message. Please don't be scared, Scorpios. There's multiple layers that I'm sensing here. Number one, understand the echo and ripple effect and the, what do they call it? You know when you throw a stone in the pond and you see that wave that goes out. Understand that your relationship dynamic over here with a certain particular someone, you will probably recognize that, Scorpio, has impact above and beyond your relationship itself. It can impact others, okay? It might not go down so well with certain other people, okay? And for example, this could indicate triangulation, okay? There could be some sort of triangulation in your life between being in this location and that location being torn apart, or between this person and that person and you in the middle, or there's someone in the middle and then there's you and someone else, some kind of triangulation. And sometimes that can be very difficult because human beings, biologically speaking, in the very core of ourselves, we are binary creatures, okay? There's things like polygamy, and people have multiple, they call it, what's it called? A serial monogamist, someone who consistently goes from one relation to the next, and each relationship is monogamous. And it's serial. Some people have relationship dynamics where they're in multiple layers at the same time. They have different, mates, partners, bed partners, and things like that simultaneously. And it's different for everybody how all these things work out. It could also indicate here that you have to be very, very careful every step that you take through this month, because partly you are very vulnerable to the impact of other people's, let's say, unresolved health issues, social, relationship, financial, attitude issues. You could be very vulnerable to someone else's behavior and activities, okay? And they could be vulnerable to yours in like a I don't know how else to explain it. It's not like a boomerang. It's not like a ricochet. It's really like an echo effect. In other words, like what you do is going to affect not just a significant other, but it's going to have an impact, okay? Like if you connect with so-and-so in a certain way, that could impact someone else in a certain way that's not very well appreciated, and vice versa, okay? So in a broad sense, what I'm sensing here is please treat this as the red engine light throughout this month, okay? So it's a very delicate, to me it's almost like pretend Lumination is a doctor, and the doctor is giving you excellent reports, saying, dear Scorpio, you've done such a great job, you're very awesome, thank you very, very much, we understand all of that. However, okay, to me this looks like a huge however, dear Scorpios, in the broader spectrum of your life, be aware of all the power that is piling up for you here in your own self towards the end of the month. Obviously, you're going to want to optimize yourself, but please understand the impact this could have on others. So you have to be extremely careful with your energy so that you are not, let's say, betrayed or undermined, and that you don't undermine and betray certain others, okay? Remember, all Scorpios have Taurus lurking over here in the 7th house. Highly unpredictable energy from certain very specific significant others, which no matter how many readings you would get, you can't really predict the outcome here. So this is like a word of caution. My feeling is like, be very careful, Scorpio. Be very, very careful. You can't afford to screw up. You can't afford to like just cash in on all the good stuff here and tell yourself, okay, well, now I can just cruise through the next year or just cruise through October. No. This is very much about recalibrating and being even more acutely aware than ever before in your life the energy of yourself and a significant other and everyone else out there, because there is a ripple effect. Remember, we talked about that here. Let's have a look. What's the situation itself? Okay? So, getting through the month with the Hanged Man here, to me it feels like there's going to be a lot of pressure towards the end of the month when you get to the Scorpio new moon and you get a real glimpse, not just for the year ahead, but not just for the month ahead when you're coming into the Scorpio energy in November, but for the whole year ahead. You're going to get some really serious, awakenings here. A lot of light, a huge amount of spotlight energy is coming on you, Scorpio, to light things up for November and for the whole next year. And it could almost make you dizzy. It can make you feel like, well, what am I supposed to do? To me, it feels like you're going to have to take a deliberate posture of being very, very self-observant and being acutely aware that You're going to have to observe your life in your world almost like you're watching a movie of yourself, okay? You've just lived through a whole year's worth of feature film over here where you're the stars and you've got the awards like we just did all that earlier. But this doesn't guarantee you a free ride or an easy ride for the next month or the next year. To me, it looks like the pressure is going to increase in ways that are going to be really hard to predict and perhaps hard to analyze or diagnose, and you're just going to have to deal with them as they come. And so that puts you in a position where you have to kind of be on alert in a way that's probably not comfortable. In other words, it would be so much nicer if you could just like put everything onto auto cruise and just tool through the year like, wow, this is so cool, thank you very much, I'm a Scorpio, I've got huge stellium supporting me. But the message here looks very different. It looks like with all that, with great power comes great responsibility, to the point you're going to literally have to be the observer of your own life in a very, let's say, conscientious, neutral way, as though you were kind of like a saint, okay? Like Saint Scorpio, keeping an eye on the elemental Scorpio down here on planet Earth in 3D. So that's a huge, to me it looks like a lot of very subtle pressure. Like you have to be so careful. Sure, we talked about all of this earlier on and all of that sort of like deep loving respect for a significant other. But it looks like, even though that could be good for you guys, there's going to be an impact on others, okay? Let's have a look. What's the problem? I'll tell you, it feels very much like navigation here. Navigating through November, okay? And navigating through the next year. Because, like, you know, let's say, you know, what we talk about on this channel, like the more advanced you go on your path, the more and more cleansed and refined and purified you make yourself. Okay, let's go back to this. Well done, congratulations. What's going to happen is you're going to start this next year, of course, and in a year from now, you're going to go through the same scrutiny. And then you're going to get, it's almost like pretend you get exactly the same reading, and then the heaven looks down upon you and says, well, dear Scorpio, how well did you do this year, okay, or next year? Because having done all this cleansing and clarifying and purifying, you know, and understanding it through October here, heading into November, that puts you in a position where it's almost like, let me go back to this again, okay? With this one here, it means you're going next level with this. Just imagine, again, think of it as like the energy of farming or something. And you realize, okay, I got to do the cleanup campaign, refine, you know, fix my fences, check the irrigation, check my books, my finances, my health, everything, and to get it in the best condition possible. And so you do that. And then you start the next year and you realize, oh my God, there's a whole bunch of new layers of stuff that nobody told me about. Things that I'm going to have to figure out over the next year, but you're going to feel a lot of it highlighted or perhaps, let's say, accented. I think you'll get a spiritual glimpse of this towards the end of the month and into November, okay? So with the Eight of Swords here, the challenge is going next level, understanding that, like, you know, they call it peeling the onion. It becomes more and more complex. It becomes more complex. Understanding the complexities of love and relationship, your life in general, and having done such a good job over here, it's like you're starting a whole new cycle again, and the challenges become more complex, more deep, and more profound, and they're going to require more healing. So it means, tells me that you're going to have to become like more advanced, like more serene, more objective, more like literally, like, you know how surgeons do surgery now where they're watching everything on huge screens and they're using robotics? So you're not actually working on the patient yourself, you're doing everything like you're watching a movie. Okay, so that's what I think is happening here. So we're going to the next level of you, Scorpio, and going next level inevitably means increasing levels of risk and challenge. Okay, so how do we deal with this? Okay, so with the Judgment here, my feeling, the way to handle it, the way that's coming up with this month right now, like for all the sweet stuff that I noted over here, the flip side is that you become more and more acutely aware of everything that is not working. And those are the things that you don't want to deal with, that you don't want to face them, but you know you have to, okay? So in other words, for you to continue to celebrate and enjoy what you already built and what you have here, it means acknowledging the facts, the truth, and the reality of your life as it is, coming into the Scorpio new moon. So what are you going to do about that? Because if you don't, to me it means you remain shackled and strapped into a lot of very subtle, let's say, attitudes, beliefs, circumstances, experience that they actually need healing. And so if you don't deal with all this stuff that you're scared of, that you would rather not have to deal with, then you end up being trapped. Okay, you end up being a victim. Like the red light, the engine light on the car keeps saying, "Well, I told you, Scorpio, beep beep. You should observe the red light." The reason they have the red light on the dashboard of your car is because something needs attention. So we're just telling you, pay attention, Scorpio. So if you don't pay attention, you can end up becoming a victim. Okay, so you have to be careful. But if you do pay attention, and you pay attention very, very, very carefully, like a brain surgeon, okay, doing what they do with all the super hyper modern technology, then this whole thing, instead of becoming potentially tragic, becomes very liberating. Okay, it can be like a redemption for you, and it can have healing effects on others. Okay, that's what I see here. That's what I'm sensing here. But you just have to be very careful. It's almost like, again, if I go to the analogy of the brain surgeon, you have to understand that, like, if you screw up, that's a huge problem for you, for the patient, and for a bunch of other people. So to me, it feels like you're under a lot of pressure, almost to the point where you disembody from yourself, like, oh my God, I didn't realize it was going to be this much pressure. But you're going to deal with it, because you've already got certain heroic ingredients over here. So you have to get back into the responsible role, okay, of this healing energy, and just go for it. If you don't, you end up becoming a victim. And so if you do it, you end up with redemption, forgiveness, and it becomes a very powerful healing tool. You understand, this is a very powerful card of forgiveness and forgetting, okay, and blessing. You're not condoning this. You're not saying it's okay to be screwed over. I don't mind if I'm being screwed over. I'm sorry if I screwed you over. I'm just going to do it because I can. It's not that at all. This is about forgiveness, okay? So that, like, no matter the pain, no matter the suffering here, you don't take it personally. You're not going to try and judge them or execute or anything or obliterate them. You just accept everything exactly as it is. Like, if you've been hurt, or if you've accidentally been hurt, or you're accidentally hurting another, it's not deliberate, okay? You just have to deal with it exactly as it is and forgive, okay? It's like forgiveness is a very powerful tool. And it's like patience. Patience is a very, very powerful tool for healing, okay? Not easy, of course. Forgiveness is not easy, but it's very, very much to do with liberation. In other words, it might be very powerful for you to sort of forgive a triangle situation. In other words, accept things exactly as they are. If there is some form of triangulation, then that's how it is. Bless the triangle. Bless the little red light in your life. Be grateful. Okay? All right, Scorpio, I'm going to leave it at that. You can reinterpret this however you want. That's your prerogative. These readings are for you. I'm going to round things out now with a card from the Gaia deck, because I want to take advantage of something. Hey, Jackie. Did I say hey, Jackie earlier? Hey, Path, what's going on? So anyway, I'm going to round this out with a card from the Gaia deck. I want to take advantage of Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn, and Uranus in Taurus. That's a lot of Earth energy in deep harmony with the Neptune and Pisces energy. I want to take advantage of it for getting things down to Earth. I want to kind of bring this whole reading down into a little nugget that you can take away with you. Okay? Hey, I'm glad you are checking in with each other. All right. I just felt something over here, dear Scorpios. For all the Scorpios, this looks quite uncomfortable. It's not the end of the world. It's just that Scorpios have a certain uncanny ability to attract some of the worst energies in life because they have incredible healing powers. They have the ability to like die before you die, and then they transmute the process, like turning garbage into gold. And it's a very powerful like tool, okay? It's like the energy of alchemy. It's the energy of the healing power of love, which you've already got here. So it looks to me like you're going to be challenged even more than ever before, okay? Okay. So let me just pull this card out because I'm hoping this is going to bring a bit of like a, you know, imagine like a friend comes and watches this reading with you and says, "It's okay, Scorpio, we got you." They put their arm around your shoulder and say, "Don't worry, don't worry. Yeah, it might look, that's fantastic. This might be challenging, but don't worry, okay?" Give me a second. I need to pull this out and make it nice and clear for you. By the way, everybody who's here, in a few hours or maybe less, I'm going to do another report, okay, today. And then by tonight, I'm going to do another report. So by the end of the day, I'm going to have 3 reports on the channel. I don't know who they're going to be, but we're working through it. And by the end of the week, we'll have done everybody, okay? So this is your card, Scorpio, okay? Night Wind, okay? It's a beautiful card. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. Okay. It's a beautiful tree way out in the wilds. Lots of nature. Beautiful sky at night, but it's being swirled around here. Facing fear. Subconscious release. Healing. Okay, so I'm going to put this over here and get the little book. Okay. Let me just read for this and then you can reinterpret for yourselves, okay? It says here, we picked this card for you, Scorpio. This card relates to the disturbed sleep patterns, the vivid dreams or nightmares you have been experiencing. Something is troubling you, yet you are not openly acknowledging this either to yourself or to others. This unresolved issue has created fear and anxiety, which you have yet to resolve. Okay, so we could be talking about the 3 of Swords here, for example. Or the 8 of Swords over here. Or the 7 of Pentacles over here, okay? This unresolved issue, whatever it is, has created fear and anxiety, which you have yet to resolve. Because of this, your subconscious mind is processing the issue as you sleep. The fear is resurfacing in your dreams time and time again in various forms and guises. Like, you know, almost like we write little screenplays at night and we live through these little feature films at night. I can attest, dear Scorpios, that I have these kinds of experience. My dream life is very vivid, very technicolor, very cinematic. And I think it's very, very a powerful tool in my life for healing, because there's a lot of things that I don't know how to fix, you know, in day-to-day life. So I can resonate with you, with this, Scorpios. It says here, so these issues resurface in your dreams time and time again in multiple various forms and guises. This is your subconscious mind's way of dealing with the issue and forcing you to face your fear. On some level, this is helpful. However, the only way this issue can be resolved is by consciously facing your fear. First, truly acknowledge your fear. Express it in detail by writing it down. Then share it by talking about it with someone you trust. This simple process takes some courage, but it is well worth it. Okay, I talk a lot about you have to reveal it to heal it. So if there are issues over here, dear Scorpio, that you've been very reluctant to talk about, seriously reluctant, and you would like to forgive and move on, and you want healing because you have that capacity, then it means require going to the next level, which means you might have to confront or face this red light thing that's flat. In other words, it's like going to the car dealer and say, listen, the red light keeps flashing. I'm not sure what it is, and maybe I do, but please tell me. Let's fix this. So you have a conversation, okay? First, truly acknowledge your fear. Express it in detail by writing it down. Then share it by talking about it with someone you trust. This simple process takes some courage, but it is well worth it. Acknowledging and expressing your fear is the first major step towards healing the issue. You will find that all will be resolved. Okay? So this is very, very much about a classic tarot illumination thing. You have to reveal it to heal it. I'm not saying rip off the bandages. I'm not saying just go start running naked into the forests and the lakes and the mountains at night. Be very, very, very careful. All healing is self-healing, and we need to look at this as in a very, very delicate, very sensitive way, just like brain surgery, okay? Or open heart surgery, okay? Let's put it that way. That's what I'm thinking. All right, so let's put that over here. I'm going to check in with you guys. Stay there. Don't go away. Hey, so when you put all those together, I'm hoping you can sense that there's a theme. I'm not going to tell you what the theme is. You guys can reinterpret for yourselves however you want to do that, okay? And that's your privilege. That's why I do these reports, to give you kind of a broad spectrum, like a huge smorgasbord of things that you can pick and nibble and then reformulate that in your brain and your heart, okay? So there you go. That's it, Scorpios. Ultimately, as you know, it's all about this. Sometimes we learn the hard way. Sometimes the only way to really learn the deepest levels is through relationship. Okay? It's very evident on this report. Relationship issues or relationship dynamics are very, very relevant and significant elements in this particular report for the month. Even though I'm doing multiple layers in the reading, the relationship issues are very important. Okay? It sounds like they're awkward. They might need a diagnostics. Check the red light, okay? Talk about the red light. Talk about your dreams. Bring everything to the open. Reveal it to heal it, okay? Gently. Very gently, like a brain surgeon, okay? Thank you very much, dear Scorpios. I'm going to play some music to get you out of here. And I'll just let some last minute look. If you can see this, I'll just leave this here so you can just take a snapshot in your brain if you want. And now I'm going to say farewell, and we'll get ready for the next report later today. Okay? Thank you so much every day, everybody. Everybody.